Susul.
Welcome to Under the Plumb Bob, the podcast about all things related to the EA Maxis series of games called The Sims. We avoid the real world by talking about our made-up ones. This is the Social Bunny newscast. I am Jessica. It's been a while since I've been here, so it's good to be back.
Jessica, I'm so glad you're here. This is Melissa, your friendly neighborhood editor / Social Bunny host. Are you ready to discuss the kind of large mass of news we have to talk about today?
Yes, I am. We have a lot in here.
Yeah, patches, news articles, there's been Sims in the news. It's like Sims is kind of becoming more and more mainstream, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's really cool to see.
Yeah. So if you're new to the show, welcome. We hope that you will hear something you like and stick around, maybe learn something new. And if you want to tell us what to talk about, you are welcome to email us at undertheplumbobpodcast@gmail.com. So, happy spooky season, by the way.
Ooh. Happy Halloween!
Tis the season. Happy Halloween! October, we've got some pumpkin patch notes.
That's cute.
It's so cute. I'm very cute. So let's just dive in. So the regular PC game, general issues were fixed. Inward-facing doors set to lock door for all will now actually lock. I had this issue while trying to play the 1% challenge, which is like the worst time to have doors that don't lock. Check out our episode on that to learn more. Attempting to place a room while using the Sims 3 camera mode should no longer inform players that roofs can't be placed in enclosed rooms. Great. Don't tell me what to do. Sims will no longer become jealous when Sims with the player trait perform romantic interactions with other Sims in front of them. There's a player trait? I learn something new every day.
Yeah. I don't think I have that, whatever pack that is.
I don't know. I have no idea what that is. Is that new with Realm of Magic, or?
I'm not sure. I'm a few packs behind on everything, so
yeah, I don't have Realm of Magic, but player, huh?
Hey, Roxy, your editor here. I just wanted to point out that the player trait is the reward for completing the serial romantic aspiration, so that comes with the base game. And Sims with this trait will never cause another Sim to get jealous of their actions, such as using a romantic interaction on a different Sim in front of their spouse. Note that Sims with the player trait can themselves still feel jealousy, unless the Sim who would make them jealous also has the player trait. So, layers upon players, and I read that out of the Sims 4 Wiki guide of IGN.com.
And then the cheat clock._set_milliseconds_per_sim_second should no longer crash the game. If you want to know what this cheat does, because we don't, feel free to tweet at SimGuruNinja, because it's not super clear what that is about. Good stuff.
City living. We just an issue that was allowing non-greeted Sims to enter your apartment uninvited.
Thank God.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than having random people coming in.
Seriously, that's how you have vampires. Do you want vampires? Ugh. In city... Nope, you just said that. Forget famous. Sims in the actor career. Sims who are in the actor career on a gig. If they've canceled the tell director ready to perform interaction, they will no longer find themselves blocked by being unable to initiate the interaction.
In island living, Sims should no longer get the sudden chill moodlet after drinking several kava beverages.
Sudden chill. Like, it's... So when, like, there are weird errors and, like, glitches, I always try to make up a story justification.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think, like, well, if it's a cold beverage, which I don't think kava is.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to justify it. All right. Well, that
Yeah.
was some quick highlights of the patch notes. Definitely check those out on Sims VIP, probably, or the Sims community if you want to learn more. But I will be the first to announce that it is long overdue time to do some console news. Okay, I'm sorry. Everyone knows I'm a PC player, and I have been known to scoff at the console players. I'm working on that part of myself. So we've got lots to talk about from console news. There's big stuff
Yes,
going
we
on.
do.
Okay, for starters, the next update for The Sims 4 on both PS4 and Xbox One are out now. If you haven't played in a while, get on in there and update your game. The update went live on October 10th. For console players also, Realm of Magic is going to be available for console on October 15th, which is like party time excellent. That's the window between PC release and console release is getting shorter and shorter, which I think is pretty cool.
Yay. That is.
What about those patch notes?
The console now has configurable stairs,
Woo!
5th anniversary items, woo, and we've brought over new builds from the Sims 4 community, which you'll find in my library. The builds span different packs and come in all sizes, from the smallest of homes to the grandest of mansions.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty exciting.
They also fixed a couple of general issues. Mouse and keyboard simmers will have their last used camera preference saved, so your preferred camera mode is active if you switch back and forth between the control schemes. New saves will default to the Sims 4 camera mode.
Switching trait categories in Create a Sim will no longer cause your sim to switch outfits.
Oh god, how annoying would that be?
Yeah. Oh, that would kill me.
The camera will no longer zoom out when you place objects high on walls or when you open the color swatch.
Basements will not create irremovable flooring between levels. That's good.
That's good. They fix an issue that caused waiting for names, clothing, facial features, and skin tones to skew heavily in specific directions if city living or island living were installed. I think that's just like your random Sims come out looking and being named more like the characters that come from the city living and island living packs, which honestly I feel like that exists in the PC version. So if they've adjusted that, I find that very interesting.
They've solved the problem where showers were playing a sound even after being deleted.
Oh god. I remember, I feel like Sims 3 had that glitch where it was like the radio from nowhere.
Yes.
Oh.
I've had that several times.
It'd drive me crazy. They solved an issue where skin details vanish after randomizing traits, voice, or clothing. Let's not have that anymore.
Toddlers now learn how to drink from sippy cups again. Not sure why they were so resistant in the first place. They're great. The sippy cups are great.
Sippy cups are great. They're probably the reason I needed braces, but it's all good. Sims in the console version have regained the ability to gradually fill empty homes if the option for this is enabled. If you want Sims to fill empty homes in your console, go to Game Options, Gameplay, and check Fill Empty Homes option. This is an option within the PC version, so it's good to see it's up and working for console.
They fixed various save load issues when loading specific households.
Oh, here's a great one. Sims are now able to drown again if you do not have Island Living installed. Hooray!
What is The Sims if you are not allowed to drown them?
Amen to that.
Floor trims on exterior walls will no longer be cut away when a staircase is placed adjacent to the trim on the interior side of the wall.
God, I mean, I have
So-
respect already for the people who build on PC. It must be a whole different beast in console.
I remember playing The Sims 3 on console, and I hated building on that.
Yeah, I can see it being certainly an adjustment. But if that's what you're used to, like if that's all you play, then you'd probably think the same thing about PC now.
Yeah.
Because it's so intricate. Like no matter what you play it on, it's so intricate. In Create a Sim, they fixed a couple layering issues with tight pants and boots. Amen.
They have retuned the values for comfort, decor, fun, hygiene, and comfort on several objects.
Oh, good. Yeah, those are for someone who is in gameplay and not as much in build. That like makes a difference for me. So, and it looks like they fixed a few various typos throughout the game. Hooray for grammar!
Yay!
That's like the general stuff.
Yeah. Getting more specific, in City Living, teen Sims that are unflirty can now make out with other teens.
Oh, that is like in honor of the Big Mouth season premiere, I am sure. Do you watch that show?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah. Love it. So good. For cats and dogs on the console, when putting your cuddly friends up for adoption, you will no longer be faced with inaccessible user interface. I guess that was like glitching out. And also for cats and dogs, now your pets will be fully able to complete obstacle courses with stand platforms. Hooray, your animals can jump now.
Yay. In Seasons, they fixed a visual issue with foundation decorations being placed next to a pool.
Good. In Get Famous, the skills and tasks are now displayed for every gig and audition in the career panel. Certain auditions will stop being spammed in the gigs panel, and Teen Sims can no longer run romantic socials with celebrities. Yeesh! Glad they fixed that one.
Yeah. In Island Living, she sells, but only if they don't stack on top of each other. That shouldn't occur anymore, but, nature finds a way. Fishing.
Seashells.
Fishing in Sulani now counts towards the fish in 3 spots goal. Players now have the ability to trigger volcanic eruptions with cheats, volcanic_eruption small and volcanic_eruption large.
Oh.
So that's... children can now drown.
Yeesh.
Sims can now drown while riding an aqua zip.
Wow.
And island counters have been added to your build catalog.
Yeah, I think they came in late to PC too. Do you remember that happening? Like I bought the pack and didn't really notice the new furniture. Again, I'm not a builder, but I feel like it was a couple updates or patches later when they were like, oh yeah, sorry, we forgot to put the new counters in. Let's see. Okay. For console, for vampires, they fixed the issue where vampires were exhibiting their old weaknesses even though they were not applied. So as your vampire ages and gains levels, they'll actually reflect that.
In the Machino pack, when your subject matter asks you for... When your subject matter asks for you to photograph their best side, they don't usually mean straight on. Simmers that prefer the controller can now rotate around the subject matter, as well as raise and lower the tripod with the left analog stick. And photographs that you submit for approval now get sent back to you. Why are we sending our only physical copy in this digital age is still a mystery.
Yeah.
And they fixed some photo approval issues for the photography career.
Yeah, I want to say in the PC version, that whole physical copy, definitely we discussed on the show. I think in a Social Bunny episode, I want to say Ava came on and had some beef with how that was going so far. So good to see that it's fixed on console as well now.
Yeah.
And then a general Xbox One update. The Sims 4 just got more colorful on the Razer turret for Xbox One. With Xbox dynamic lighting support, your keyboard and mouse will reflect the moods for your selected Sims. Colors that match the theme of the secret worlds and more. You can enable the Xbox dynamic lighting from game options and then other. Oh, I want this now. All right. You got it. You did it, guys. You made me a console believer. Now I want this. I think I want to say I have my keyboard does light up and you can customize the lights. I don't know if it's that brand or if it might be a totally different thing. But if that's something that we can enable for PC players, I am on board. So if you know how to do that on a PC,
that would be
tweet
amazing.
at me. Tweet at write into us on our Gmail, please. I need to know because I am obsessed now.
Just let us know.
Let's move on to some other news.
Yes. In mod and CC news, Illogical Simmer on Twitter modded the fairy familiar from Realm of Magic. It looks like the Legend of Zelda fairy.
Hey, listen! I want this. This will get me playing Realm of Magic for sure. Thanks to our Citizen Shane for tweeting at us to let us know about this. It looks so good.
Mm-hmm. It's so cool, and I think that would be the one thing to get my brothers to play Realm of Magic too.
There you go. Yeah.
And Kawaii Stacy has updated Slice of Life twice recently, including more woohoo options like drunk woohoo and self woohoo. And we have a mini review from our Citizen Shane. And Shane says, well, I've played with Slice of Life for a bit and taken the periods and sickness back out. Chaos has overhauled the system, but it's still too micromanagey. You have to buy a pad or tampon every time you need one. You still suffer from symptoms, but you can buy symptom relief, but that only lasts for a few sim hours, so you have to keep buying it. Ugh. You can also go to the doctor when you get sick, but it's still happening a hell of a lot. My sim got sick 3 times in as many days. A hospital visit is 100 simoleons a pop, so it gets expensive fast. Plus, acne is still annoying, but they don't seem to get it as often as before. I thought it might help someone who's thinking about installing it. So thank you so much, Shane, for that mini review of Slice of Life.
Have you
updates.
Have you played with Slice of Life at all?
I've been wanting to. I haven't gotten around to downloading it yet.
I would say it's like a good starter mod. It was definitely one of the first ones that I played with. Or I'm sorry, like starter script mod, like a behavioral change mod. Mm-hmm. And I famously, in the episode that we did, was singing its praises. I have regrets. I had the same thing. My Sims were getting crazy sick all the time and crazy acne. I'm about realism, but I think what would make this mod really shine is if we had an ability to just adjust the frequency for all of it. You know, even if it were by a percentage, I think that would really make the difference. Again, I don't know how to do that. Not a developer, but it's still a great mod, and Kawaii Stacy works really hard to put out great content, and we appreciate it. So yes, thank you, Kawaii Stacy, and thank you, Shane, for the mini review.
Yes. And Realm of Magic mods are starting to roll out with more to come. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like we have one modded spells and familiars are possible, thanks to Iron Seagull. That's a YouTube video that you can check out. And there are some Realm of Magic mods created by Zero. You'll learn more about Zero in a later segment coming up. So, Sims has kind of been blowing up in the media lately, inexplicably. So we've just got kind of a rundown of places in pop culture and media that The Sims has made an appearance. So On September 21st, on BuzzFeed, there was an article posted called "I Tried to Solve Bella Goth's Disappearance on The Sims, and Here's What I Found, #Justice for Bella." That was by Kelly Martinez. And look, she does a great job. She's very thorough, but if you really want to hear all about the tea with the Goths and the Calientes and Dawn, check out our episodes 5 and episode 19, the episodes Don Juan and Goths a History. So check those out if you really want all the inside info that we put together, and check out the BuzzFeed article too.
On September 22nd on Salon.com, there was one called "Thank You, The Sims, for Saving Me from Friends for My Subgeneration of Millennials' Toxic Ideas About Sex That Were Taught by Friends and Undone by The Sims." Sitcoms, among other forms of mass media, are notoriously heteronormative and key to maintaining the status quo. This quote from the article captures in a nutshell one of the things that definitely I love, and several other people I know that love about the Sim series. "In the Sim world, everyone was pansexual and lived in a genderless, multiracial utopia."
That article was by Keith A. Spencer. It is one of the greatest things about The Sims. It's sort of like everyone likes everyone until like you make them make a choice, and even then, like, if you break up that relationship and go to a different one, it's not hard and fast rules. So I think that's pretty cool. And we do talk about that in a couple earlier episodes. If you ever catch our very special episodes called "How Do You Deal?" episode 15, and "Increasing Visibility" number 16, we do talk about kind of gender roles in The Sims. And I think we get into it a little bit in our Will Wright episode. Will Wright was sort of the creator of The Sims, the idea originally. And there's a great article on the interwebs about how basically for their very first demo, they had 2 female Sims that just autonomously started making out in front of many, many people. And they were like, yep, this works. We're doing this on purpose. So definitely check those episodes out. Let's see. This one was really fun. Liv Siddall on October 6th from theguardian.com wrote a story called "The Land of Make-Believe, Life After the Sims." This article has some factual errors, but the overall sentiment has, some pretty wholesome notes. She does advocate not getting addicted to The Sims, and we can't in good conscience advocate that sort of harmful advice. We are all comfortable addicts of this game, but it's a long read, but a good one. Moving on.
There was a tweet from BBC News Africa shouting out Simmers who make content for people of color, which is amazing for the representation.
Yeah.
Their tweet said, "Wow, there's someone who makes content for us." And they highlighted at Ebonics Sims and their custom designs. Really cool.
Yeah, and they shout out in the tweet that even stars like at T-Pain want matching hairstyles for their Sim selves, which I don't know if that means T-Pain is a Simmer, but if he is, he's of course a listener. So hey, T-Pain, glad you're listening. Glad you play. Welcome to the fam. So I want to say we've mentioned Ebonics Sims on the podcast before, or just like in our group chat as like a top CC creator. Their stuff is awesome and increases representation and visibility, which is super important. So I'm glad that's in there too.
Yes, definitely.
So also in just like general pop culture and media, there's a little show on the air right now called The Good Place. Are you familiar with it?
Yes, I am.
It stars the lovely Kristen Bell, who is known for such masterpieces as Veronica Mars and Frozen. It also stars Ted Danson, who is from a small niche program called Cheers. And this show it's one of my faves. It's funny. It makes you think. I can't talk about how great it is without like giving away a huge spoiler. So like watch the show. But on Polygon, Petrana gonna screw that up. Okay. There was an article on Polygon.com by Petrana Radulovic called "The Good Place is basically a giant cross-generational Sims game." Holy shirt balls, you guys. God, I love it. I love this show, and this author has a point. There's a couple reasons why this is a very important parallel to draw. On the show, instead of saying curse words, they will replace them with innocuous words because they're in the good place, which is supposed to be like a heaven. So you can't curse in heaven. So instead of fucking, you say forking. And holy shirt balls is holy shit balls. So in The Sims, instead of having sex, you call it woohooing, which is kind of like an important similarity. Plus the fact that the first season, without giving away spoilers, takes place in a contained, impossibly beautiful neighborhood. Plus, you assign points to actions that you do in the good place. And in The Sims, you have your, like, God, what's it called? Reputation meter. So there's a lot of parallels. And also, theme music of The Good Place, the show, is very similar to Sims 2 music.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to like put in right here some like do 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 do. So it's very oboe heavy. It's very like clarinet forward, which I love. If you're a fan of the show, tweet at us.
Very reminiscent of
Yes,
them.
right. If you're a fan of the show, definitely shoot us a tweet or a message. We're kind of playtesting some Good Place themed challenges for The Sims 4. We want your ideas as to how to make those great. So if you've got them, let us know and stay tuned because once we create them, we want to put them out to all of you.
Yes.
All right. There's something else, a little small bit of news that I've heard about. Have you heard anything about this?
Yeah, there's some whispers going around about a possible university expansion. Many Sims news sites have noted that several retailers have listed Expansion Pack 8 as Discover University.
Oh my God.
And apparently it's going to be available November 15th.
This may have been mentioned already, but I think Marissa from Team Cowplant came up with the sentiment of like, why didn't they just keep with the trend? Get to work, get together, get to school, get to university, get educated. Mm-hmm. So I won't take credit for that, but like we as a team we're kind of befuddled. But I guess Discover University, sure.
Yeah. So far, Maxis has not made an official announcement, but new packs are usually announced on Tuesdays, so we'll keep our ears and eyes posted.
If you're listening right now, after this episode is posted, it could already be happening. So, if that's happening, just know that in real life, we are pooping our pants with excitement. Well, me and Jessica are. Mm-hmm. I don't know about the rest of the team. We have a couple of haters on this team. I know Jane, also a Social Bunny host, is a big fan of University for its gameplay. So we will have a collective cheer when that, if and when those rumors are true and they are released. So now we're going to introduce a new segment that we're going to call Creator Spotlight. We interact with such awesome content creators all across the Sims community, and we wanted to give a couple of them a really distinct shout out, point you, our listeners, in their direction to check out what they make. Things that can enhance your gameplay, cool script mods, great custom content. So away we go. Our first feature is someone named Zero. This is the bio from their site. I create mods for The Sims 4. None of them is ever going to be behind a paywall or in pre-release, though. Since I'm poor as fuck, I know what it means to not be able to afford something. I'm starting this Patreon just to keep my mods all in one place and update them easily. So they've got a Patreon, but it's all free. My terms of use, says the bio, I do not give a shit. You can modify, translate, redistribute, copy and paste, do as you wish without asking permission. This is not a work of art. As for EA license, I don't own any of my works on Sims 4. Therefore, all of this belongs to the players. What a refreshing way to look at content of playable content. I mean, like, there's a lot of free content out there in the world, and if you know how to get it, even not like if you know how to get it, just in terms of like if you click past the ads on the Sims resource, like you can get your free stuff. But I know people pay for custom content, and mad respect if you do, and no judgment. But I think it's great because we pay so much for the packs themselves. It's nice to have your add-ons to the game be totally free. So,
yes.
Let me see. So on Zero's site, there are some Sims 4 mods as well as tutorials. You can find all of their stuff on their Patreon, but it's all free. And Roxy found Zero by researching this fix for townies becoming spellcasters willy-nilly. On the Sims official forum, there was this link to Zero's mod called Quick Mod for Realm of Magic. Don't turn my Sims into spellcasters. Probably helpful for, townies, and also if you do a rotational play like Caitlin does, you don't want to like hop to a different family, hop back to the one you were playing, and suddenly everyone's a freaking wizard. Like, cool your jets, Sims.
Yeah.
So we are now
do not want.
Please do not. Under the Plum Bob, we are now following Zero's posts on Patreon, and they're very active, creating super useful mods, and even sharing some tutorials now and then. A quote from Roxy: I love their attitude and willingness to share what they've learned as well as what they've made. There is a video in the show notes for this episode by Urban Sims where she reviews an improved relationship mod by Zero. So check out that video in our show notes. You can find Zero's site and more information on this creator in our show notes. Jessica, would you like to kick us off on our favorite segment?
What just happened? Yes. We have a letter that starts off, hello and dag. Yeah, girl, do I have some fails. Here are some recent highlights from Sims 4. Long story. Generation game, I was letting my lady be loose, and she found the perfect guy. A cute AF elder. Dapper and handsome. He was an unflirty challenge, but I finally proposed, and he died from too much shagging.
Yeah.
Whoops. Oh, no. So I thought, well, screw it. I'll romance the Grim Reaper. Make him my Reaper daddy. Turns out that is not a thing, and I couldn't even kiss the King of Death. So I waited around for the dead elder's ghost to turn up and was now set on a ghost baby. Turns out that is not a thing. The very upset little emoji. Then my lady aged up to an elder, and I had to use her annoying sister to continue on the bloodline. Learn from my mistakes. And a short story. Collected all my things, put them safely in a chest in my house, moved houses, and kept the furniture. All the collectibles gone, chest empty. Rip.
Oh my god.
No. I would be so upset.
Brutal. Thank you, Megan, for writing in. Megan co-hosts a podcast called Cryptid Addicted, so check her out if you are so inclined.
Yay.
Well, let's talk about what's coming up next, friends. So, next week, Cowplant is coming on to share some of their very best Sims nostalgia. Take a walk down memory lane with Team Cowplant and enjoy the show. Jessica, not to put you on the spot, but do you have like a favorite, like Sims 1, Sims 2? Like what brings forth that memory of Sims nostalgia?
Definitely gotta be Sims 2. I used to play that on console with my friend in high school, and I would have one girl that would get routinely abducted by aliens at least once every 2 days.
I don't know if I just never used the telescope, but it really didn't happen that often to me. So, hella jealous.
Oh, really?
God, for me it was...
Yeah, it was like a constant.
For me, it was probably all of Sims 2. But even before that, I mean, my introduction to The Sims was at a friend's house. They had Sims 1. If my mother caught wind of any such activity, I would be reprimanded thusly. But yeah, we would always play and giggle at that. God, there was that heart-shaped vibrating bed.
Oh, yeah, I
like
remember
the
that.
original woohoo bed. So join us for that episode. And coming very soon, Llama has a spooky Halloween episode planned on the various things that go bump in the night in The Sims. So stay tuned. It's gonna be a spooky... Okay. It's gonna be a spooky one. So let's do some shout outs. Would you like to take the first one?
Sure. Do you like weird stories and history? Check out the podcast Into the Rabbit Hole, co-hosted by our Citizen Kenzie and her friend Amber. We have featured Amber's builds on our social media. Her ID is Amber's-Heartsong.
Love a Citizen, love a Sim adjacent, love a listener.
Yes.
Into the Rabbit Hole. I really love weird stories about history, so I will be checking that out.
I definitely
We got
too.
a 5-star review that we'd like to shout out from Apple, from a user called Tootsie Tam with 2 M's at the end. The title is, I love this podcast. Oh my God. I listen to this podcast all the time. That's several A's in the all. While I'm working, I love learning more about the game and other people's playing styles. And not gonna lie, the tangents are my favorite part. Winky smiley. Team Cowplant, you hear that? You're hydrating someone. You are actively providing Tootsie Tam with hydration. So thank you very much for that. And thank you, Tootsie Tam.
And on Twitter, Jenjamu, I think is how you pronounce it. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Says, a new favorite podcast. So thank you for listening, Jenjamu.
Really appreciate it. I think that just about covers it. And now for your social media plugs. We are PlumbobCast on Instagram and Twitter. We are Plumbob Podcast on Reddit, Under the Plumbob Podcast on Facebook and Tumblr. Our website is undertheplumbob.com. You can use the contact form or email undertheplumbobpodcast@gmail.com directly. Now, we are also on Twitch and YouTube, where we provide video content. We are there at Under the Plumbob Podcast. Just do it in the search bar. Big news, we now have weekly Twitch streams. You can tune in Saturdays, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, to see some live gameplay. We do some live builds. We've done some streams that are not Sims, but feature our hosts. So if you want to see us expanding our portfolio, tune into that. We would love it if you subscribed, rated, and reviewed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play. We're on Pandora now. If you rate us and review us, that really helps us get the word out about our show, so you can share this wonderful thing with all the people that you know. We're trying to hit 100 reviews by the end of 2019, so we're all about that 100 challenge, people. So get us 100 reviews.
And that's on
Apple, yes. So, our Patreon is live now. If you follow our page and check out the different tiers for patron support, everybody who contributes in one way or the other gets an invitation to our private Discord channel. We're very fancy. And we have merch. So, if you want to put our stuff on your stuff, get some bags, get a mug, get all the things.
I got a mug.
You got a mug? Yes. All the proceeds just go back into the show just to keep the lights on. Same with the Patreon. We just get some dollars to power our production here. Big thanks to Caitlin and Roxy for the writing and research credits for this episode. If we play a clip of the Good Place theme song, that's a big thanks to NBC for not taking this episode down. Thank you, lawyers, and to The Sims 2 if we play those clips side by side. Thank you, as always, to the wonderful Sims fan sites out there that provide most of our research and news. This week we had a bunch, but they often include Sims Community, Sims VIP, Carl Sims 4 Guide. Thank you, Carl. Iron Seagull on YouTube. This week, again, we had Polygon.com, BBC News, The Guardian, Salon.com, and BuzzFeed. Thank you to all of our sources. Last but not least, we want to thank you for listening. Tell your friends if you like us. Tell your friends if you don't like us. It's awesome to be a part of this. And Jessica, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this episode, on this adventure.
Well, thank you for having me again.
Of course. All right.
I guess
it's time to go. Thanks again for listening. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Badish. Dag dag.
Dag dag.